Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Trade Ideas Live Trading Room Recap for Friday, February the 9th. My name is Barry Ainerson, moderator of your room. Any questions, you can use this email address. This is a link to get into our free room. You don't have to be a member of Trade Ideas to participate in our room. This is a link for a subscription, and I'll keep telling you, February 15th, the rates are going up to approximately 22%, all right? For our monthly and our annual and our premium and our standard packages. If you're a current subscriber, you don't have to worry. If you take out a subscription before then, you don't have to worry. And when I say don't have to worry, I mean you don't have to worry about a price increase, though whatever rate you'll have now will be grandfathered in. And I open the room at about 9 o'clock. That's when I start to share my screen. I get live on the mic at about 9:05. I go to 3:30 Monday to Thursday, and 3 o'clock on Friday. All right. Well, it's going to be a bit of a different recap today because I'm going to go over call it a strategy or something that I'm probably going to start doing a lot more. And I just want to demonstrate it with virtue, with virtue, with VIRT. All right. So this is one that I went long on, and if you take a look at the daily chart, you'll see that it had a fantastic day yesterday. Remember, the market was down 1,000 points yesterday. This went completely contrary, all right? And it also had another nice day. I mean, the market has been all over the place. At one point, I think might have been up a couple hundred points, and now it's down 300 points. So, I mean, we're in real volatility. If you're an intraday trader, it's kind of cool because it gives us some opportunities, both on the long and the short side, but definitely not for the faint of heart. So let me get back to the 15-minute time frame. And I ended up taking this trade. I actually got in a couple of times. Got in at 27.15 on the break over the whole number. Got out at 27.35 and at 27.90. I think it was 27.90. So I took a little loss. Got back in it at 28.35. Sorry, 28.35. Right about here. It popped all the way up to 28.94. I took some out about 27.90 and 27.95, so I'm not in it anymore. But it turned out to be, on a contrary day or a day in which most things were down, this certainly was a star. So let me just go over how I even found VIRT. All right. So I think what I should do, I don't need the chart, but I'll put it on my other monitor. But if you've been in the room before, let me just shrink this one down. If you've been in the room before, I go over something called an evening scan. And basically what the evening scan is, how I use this, and again, I can give this to you, all right? So if you're interested in having this, all you have to do is use the info@trade-ideas.com and email me that you want it. But if you look at the configuration, what I do with it, come on. I think while I'm doing the webinar or this recap, kind of interferes a little. It sort of slows my system down a little bit. But anyway, so these are the filters I use. Of course, you can change the price range to whatever you want. Current volume has to be at least 2, so it's trading at least twice as much as normal. Minimum volume, 400,000 shares. It has to be up or down at least 4% from the close of the day before. And then I only want to see stocks that are within 20% of the high or 20% of the low of the day's range, of the day's high and low. So those are the filters that I'm using, all right? So at this point, these are the stocks that meet those filter requirements. So, and I can tell, what I do is I sort them on the position in the day's range. Okay, I'm sorry, it's right there, I guess. So I'm sorting on the position in the day's range. So there's where, not quite at the top, all right? But the bottom line is that at 4:30, now today being Friday, there won't be very much after hours action. But from Monday to Thursday, a lot of companies will release news, either earnings or could be some news after hours. So I usually wait till 4:30 Eastern time. I take this list, all right, and I copy it. So I will copy this list, just doing a Control C, all right? So I'll copy the list. I'm going to back this off. And then what I started doing today is, now, let me back up. Obviously, this is today's list. Yesterday's list at 4:30 would be different from this list, of course. So this is the list that I'll use on Monday. Okay, understand the concept, because what we're really looking for, we're looking to see if these stocks, these were the strong and the weak stocks. We're looking to see if they have any sort of continuation. Either, if they were good today, will they be good tomorrow? In other words, will the trend continue strong tomorrow? And on the downside, will the trend continue weak tomorrow? Now, sometimes we get bounces. I've actually noticed that a lot of times stocks that were weak will have a bit of a bounce. But anyway, I digress. So understand that this will be the list that I'll be using for Monday. All right. We don't know. I mean, the market hasn't closed yet, of course. At 4:30, this could be a slightly different list. That's why I wait till then. Once that happens, and all I did was I created this little alert window, and I'm already missing out on this GLPI doing this webinar. I was in this early, but anyway, so all this is a very, very simple configuration. I do have alerts for new highs and new lows, intraday highs. I also have them for the pre-market. All right. Minimum volume of 50,000 shares. All right. Now you want to up that? That's fine. I put this at 50,000 just in case we catch something early on. All right. But that's all it is. But what I've done is I have attached a symbol list that I call evening scan, and guess what's in there? Those are the stocks from yesterday that made it into that evening scan that I was talking about. All right. So if you don't know how to create a symbol list, then all you have to do is create new, give it a name. Let's call it test 1. Say OK. This pops up. Now here is where before I would have done this, I would have copied the symbols from the evening scan. I would have put them in here. All right. And then I say OK, and that's it. Now, theoretically, yeah, test 1 will be added. If you do it from there, if you don't see it on this side, if you don't see it here, then just go to Add Existing List and find it and click on it, and it'll move over. All right. But so that is what I have done. I have taken then, created this alert window to monitor the symbol list. And this is all I do is I click on symbol lists. This is a drop-down menu. Typically, we just keep it on all symbols. But this is a drop-down menu. Just pick only the following lists. You find your list that you created. Notice it says evening scan. I'll now check it again. I obviously unchecked it. Okay. And so that means that this alert window will only monitor those symbols. All right. Now, notice, Virtue, because I made some modifications of this during the day, we can't see right from the beginning of the day. There it starts at 12:54. That's when I made some modifications. But earlier on in the day, VIRT appeared. And the other interesting thing is what I've got here. This is the position in the previous day's range. Okay. This is the column. I can quickly look. If this is red all the way over, that means that KN, not only is it down for the day, but it's also below the low of yesterday when I see this. This one, let me bring a chart out. Now, this is where it can get a little bit hairy. I want to make sure I may lose the chart. But for instance, if I click on DXC, no, I didn't lose it. Okay. So you notice that there's the low yesterday for DXC. You notice that it's still above the low. That's why this is not all the way over. But if I look at KN, let's just put KN in here. Notice there's the low, and there's the low of yesterday right there. So it is below the low. That's why this is all the way over. So I not only can see whether the stock is making a new low for the day, I can see, and by the way, it's also it's also below yesterday's low. If I look at Nielsen, there's just a sliver, a little sliver of white there. So that means this is close. There's the low yesterday. This is really close then to breaking down. So, there's another interesting way to look at this. Not only, do you look to see if a stock is making a new low, but where is it in relation to yesterday's low, all right, or yesterday's range. So, and again, we don't see anything in green right now because the market is moving down. So hopefully, now you can't have this. People have asked me in the room all day long, well, can you just give us this one? And the reason being is that if I copied this, all you would see are these headers, all right? And you would see the alerts. You would see this, and you would see the filter, but because a symbol list is attached to it, and it's my symbol list does not copy over. So that's why I'm saying you can use this as a template, all right? And then if you want, so you can ask me for this as a template, but then you have to create your symbol list if you've never created one before, and then attach it to this window. And then we can start to monitor those strong and those weak stocks from the day before, see how they're doing today. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. I just started doing this today, and I'm starting to see, it's narrowing down, of course, the universe of stocks that we're looking at, and that's never a bad thing. Now I could, I might tinker with this a little bit more, maybe add a couple other filters in, make sure the stock is down a certain amount or up a certain amount also. But right now I just want to monitor this going forward. So hopefully that was informative. And of course, if you come into the trading room, you can always ask me questions about it. And because I've had a ton of questions all day in the trading room. So if you do have some questions, just come on into the trading room, and I'll certainly be glad to go over it. All right, well, that is it for today's trading room recap. I hope everybody has a great weekend. And again, don't forget, on Thursday, we're having that price increase, approximately up to 22%, depending on what subscription plan you take. So, again, if you're sitting on the fence and you really like the idea of Trade Ideas, even if you just tried it for a month, remember, you're not locked in. You could always try a standard subscription for a month, and if you like it, then you keep going, and you'll lock yourself into a nice rate. So everybody, I hope everybody has a great weekend. And in Canada, some provinces, I know in BC where I live, there was a holiday on Monday, but I will certainly open the room. I'll be in the room. But everybody have a great weekend, and hope to see you in our trading room on Monday morning. Bye-bye.